I never thought I'd see the day when a courtroom full of strangers would watch my neighbor's empire collapse in less than 8 minutes. But that's exactly what happened. One forged map, one smug HOA president who thought she was untouchable, and one stubborn guy with the right evidence me was all it took. But if you think this story was simple, you're dead wrong. Before that gavel slammed down, before Karen Turner's face drained of color, I had to live through months of being stalked, sabotaged, and nearly broken in my own home. It all started the morning I first saw her marching up my driveway, clipboard tucked under her arm like a weapon. My wife Amy and I were sitting on our porch, still smelling of sawdust from finishing the railing we'd built with our own hands, drinking coffee, listening to the pine trees creak in the breeze. For a moment, life felt perfect. Then here comes Karen, pink pantsuit helmet hair, sprayed so stiff it looked bulletproof, and an expression like she'd come to judge every nail I'd hammered into place. She didn't even say hello. She shoved a violation notice in my face, told me my fire pit was illegal, my trees were too dense, and my land was under the HOA's jurisdiction whether I liked it or not. Now keep in mind, I'd bought this property specifically because it wasn't in her HOA. We checked the title, confirmed it, made sure of it. Yet here she was, waving some ancient expansion map and declaring war on my dream. I told her to get off my land. She just smirked, dropped her pink slip on my step, and goose-stepped back down the driveway. That moment, standing over that ridiculous piece of paper, I knew peace was over. Within a week it got worse. A thick legal envelope showed up, 48 pages of HOA threats and retroactive fees. $9,000 they said I owed, plus fines for my cedar siding, plus interest. Amy read through it with that sharp paralegal eye of hers, and her face went white. She said it was a formal annexation, claiming our land now fell under their rules because of some vote I'd never even heard of. My stomach dropped. That was the first time doubt slipped in. Maybe they could actually pull this off. Maybe we were trapped. And that's when the harassment started. A drone buzzing outside my window at dawn, its camera aimed right into our porch. I called the sheriff and he shrugged. Civil matter, he said. Later my well pump died. I opened the casing and found it packed with sand. Someone had sabotaged it. That night trail cameras I'd installed caught 2 men from the HOA smearing beige paint of all colors on the beautiful cedar I'd installed with my bare hands. HOA beige. They wanted to erase me, literally cover me up. I can't lie to you. There was a night I sat at that kitchen table, head in my hands, staring at the stack of violation notices and lawsuits, and I thought, maybe I should just give up. Maybe I should cut my losses, sell, walk away before they bled us dry. For the first time in years, I asked myself if I'd failed my wife, if I'd dragged her into a nightmare because of my stubborn dream. But Amy looked me dead in the eye and said, if we quit, we're no better than her. Do you really want to live knowing she bullied us out of our own home? And that was the switch. That was when my doubt turned into steel. Amy kept digging into records, and one night she hit the jackpot. She discovered Karen wasn't just a control freak, she was a licensed realtor. And get this, her agency had quietly bought up 14 rundown properties right outside the HOA line. Why? Because if she could expand the HOA boundary to swallow them, she'd make millions. My so-called violations, my cabin, my fire pit, they were just pawns in her scam. It was never about trees or fire pits. It was about cash. We didn't stop there. We made flyers, anonymous, fact-only, showing every shady property she'd flipped. Our neighbor Derek, who'd once been fined for owning a whimsical garden gnome, helped us deliver them door to door in the dead of night. Within days, the community was buzzing. Posts on message boards, whispers in driveways. Suddenly people weren't laughing at Queen Karen anymore. They were questioning her, and she hated that. So she panicked. She sent her goons to my house in broad daylight. A black pickup truck tore up my driveway. 2 men jumped out, one of them the same guy who'd painted my siding. They claimed they were there for an inspection. I still had an axe in my hands from splitting firewood. I didn't raise it, I didn't need to. I just stood my ground and told them they had one chance to leave. One of them shoved me, tried to rip down my trail camera. Amy was on the porch phone recording shaking but steady. And right then, a sheriff's siren cut through the air. This time, the deputy didn't look bored. He cuffed both of them on the spot. Watching them hauled off in the back of a squad car, knowing Karen had just lost her loyal soldiers was the first real taste of victory. But we weren't done. We needed something that would obliterate her case. That's when Amy remembered Mr. Abernathy, the old farmer who sold us our land. We tracked him down in a nursing home sharp as ever, and when we explained our nightmare, he nodded and told us the truth. Back in 1994, when the HOA first formed, he had legally carved out his parcel, our parcel, from ever being annexed. He had the notarized map and meeting minutes to prove it, and he still had them tucked away in a metal chest under his bed. When he handed me that yellowed paper with the crisp notary seal, my hands actually shook. It was the silver bullet we'd been praying for. The trial came fast. Karen strutted in pink blazer blazing, flanked by her lawyer and a wall of binders. She smirked at my single slim portfolio like I was already finished. Her lawyer painted us as violent outcasts, Karen cried on the stand, holding up her precious 1996 map as if it were the 10 Commandments. I sat there, pulse pounding, biting my tongue. Amy leaned over and whispered, "Let her climb higher, it'll make the fall harder." Finally our lawyer stood. He let me tell our story, every drone, every can of paint, every shove caught on camera. Then he pulled out Mr. Abernathy's original 1994 map. The room went silent. You could practically hear the oxygen leave Karen's lungs. Our map had signatures from the entire board. Hers had only one hers. Then came the meeting minutes, notarized, binding, undeniable. Then came the evidence of her real estate scheme, the police reports, the assault footage. Karen's mask cracked. Her fake tears vanished, replaced by open panic. She sputtered, "Lies, all lies," but no one was buying it. Judge Stone stared her down with eyes like steel. And then with one swing of her gavel, it was over. Case dismissed with prejudice. Karen Turner personally liable for every dollar of damage, every legal fee. And then the hammer blow referral to the district attorney for forgery and fraud. I'll never forget Karen's face in that moment, frozen pale, her kingdom turned to ash in front of the very people she'd bullied for years. That's where my story ends, not with balloons or champagne, but with the simple crushing silence of justice finally served. And here's the truth. I walked away with bullies build their power on fear and lies. But the moment you stand your ground with truth, their entire empire crumbles. So tell me, if you were in my shoes, would you have fought back, or would you have given in?